So, good morning, madam. My name is Kishan Raj. So, this is my teammate Radhia Murali and Satishwaran Gopi. So, we would like to present about our assignment 2, that is explaining about the 5 arguments. So, the introduction part will explain about by Satishwar.
Hi, madam. My name is Satishwaran. So I'm going to present about the introduction. So the debate between protectionism and free trade remains continuous in a global company economy. And despite theoretical support for free trade and potential and measure persist. The essay aims to analyze the 5 common arguments for protectionism and their practical effectiveness. I'll pass to next.
Hi, madam. I'm Rathia Murli. I'm going to present about the first argument, protecting domestic job. Okay. So protecting domestic job is countries use trade barriers like tariff and quotas to prevent outsourcing jobs to cheaper labor market, aiming to protect the domestic industry and maintain a strong local workforce. So while this strategy safeguards jobs, it can also lead to higher consumer price and strained international relations, impacting overall economic growth and corporations. So for the thesis statement is about the protectionism aims to safeguard local jobs by using trade barriers to prevent outsourcing and maintain employee opportunity for the citizens. And my next point is the topic sentence. So protectionism aims to prevent job loss to cheaper foreign laborers marketing to ensuring the local employee have the opportunity. And I'm going to present about the supporting details. So the countries use tariff or quotas to protect domestic industry from the unfair competitions. So it's like the US imposed tariff to steel and aluminum in 2018 to safeguard domestic jobs from the global competitions. And so there is 2 examples from this statement. So the first example is the United States imposed tariff on the imported steels and aluminum in 2018 to protect the domestic steel and the industry and previous jobs. And the second example is India implement tariff on Chinese solar cells and module to safeguard domestic solar manufacturing jobs. So from this example, the analysis, the successful achieve their objective. It's to consider both in short-term and long-term impact, while the tariff imposed by the US and India may have to provide immediate relief to the steel, aluminum, and solar industry by protecting domestic job and long-term to effect on the consumer prices. And I'm going to present about the conclusions. So policymaker must balance the short-term job protection with long-term economy impact on the global relations. And critical planning is crucial to support domestic industry and job effective in the global economy. Then I'm going to present about the second argument. Okay, preventing dumping. Okay, preventing dumping, it's an anti-dumping measure, stop foreign companies from selling goods to cheaply in another country, like protecting local industry from unfair competitions. So these rules help maintain fair trade, balanced market conditions, and requirement cooperation for proper enforcement. So the thesis statement is about the preventing dumping is crucial to protect the local industry, ensure fair competition, and safeguard a country economy interest in the global market. So, and the topic sentence, dumping is selling goods cheaper a foreign market than in the home market. So it's help gain to competitive advantage, but can harm the domestic industry and trade relation in the long term. And I'm going to move on to the supporting details. So dumping sells goods cheaper abroad, hurting local producer by undercutting prices and distributing the market dynamics. So like an example, the first point is the European Union's Chinese steel. The European Union's their anti-dumping duties on Chinese steel to protect its steel industry from unfair competition due to low price import. And my second example is India and Chinese solar cells. So India imposed anti-dumping duties on Chinese solar cells to safeguard its domestic solar manufacturing sector from a dumping practice. And my last point is the conclusions. So the conclusion is about the dumping, is anti-dumping measure instilled for fair trade and protecting domestic interests. And a strong regulations combat dumping ensure a level of playing field. And also the enforcement uphold trade agreement and support the economic stability. And my last point is about the protective measure mitigate negative impact the faster growth and create a fair global markets. So that's all for me. I pass to next presenter to present about the next slide.
Hi, madam. I would like to present about my first argument. It means the third argument. It is a protecting environmental and labor standards. Protecting environmental and labor standard means ensuring regulations are in place to safeguard the environment and workers' right. It involves preventing pollution, promoting sustainable practice, and ensuring fair and safe working conditions. For the thesis statement, although free trade is widely advocated, certain nations impose protectionist policies in order to maintain labor and environmental standards. Even though these actions might draw criticism, they are useful tool for advancing ethical and sustainable trade practices. For topic sentence, protectionism often find justification in the imperative to shield environmental and labor standards. For supporting details, protectionism prevents countries from lowering standards to compete, ensuring fair trade and upholding labor and environmental rules. It encourages global standards by imposing tariff on goods from countries with weak standards, promoting fair and sustainable trade practices. For the empirical example one, the US imposed tariff on steel and aluminum imports in 2018 to protect domestic industry and workers from unfair competition, especially from countries like China with lower standards. For the second example, in 2019, India increased tariff on imports like agriculture and electronics to protect local industry and job from unfair competition, prioritizing the welfare of its producers and workers. Last but not least, for the conclusion, protectionist policies ensure enforcing labor and environmental standards are crucial for fair global trade. They may face criticism for cost increases and restricted access to goods, but they foster sustainability and prompt vital discussion on labor and environmental standards role in international commerce. For the fourth argument, it means infant industry protection. Infant industry protection is when a government shields emerging domestic industry from foreign competition, usually through tariff or subsidies, to foster their growth and competitiveness. The goal is to allow this industry to keep industry time to develop before facing global competition. For the thesis statement, while free trade is theoretically advantageous, countries often resort to protectionist measures due to concerns such as safeguarding infant industry, protecting domestic jobs, addressing unfair competition, ensuring national security, and correcting trade imbalance. However, the effectiveness of this measure varies with some yielding desired outcome while other falls short. For the topic sentence, one commonly cited argument for protectionism is the need to protect infant industry from unfair competition in global market. For the supporting details, protectionist measures support emerging industry by shielding them from a global competition. Strategic protectionism like Korea's automotive sector and Brazil's aircraft industry illustrate how these policies can foster growth and competitiveness. They are the two empirical examples. One of that was South Korea automotive industry. In the 1960s, South Korea protected its emerging automotive industry with high tariff on imported vehicles. This helped companies like Hyundai and Kia invest in research and development, leading to rapid growth and a shift from importer to major exporter of automobiles. For the next example is Brazil's aircraft manufacturing. Brazil's Embraer benefit from infant industry protection facing global competition in aerospace. In Brazil, use subsidy, tariff, and procurement policies to support Embraer growth. This measure helped Embraer become a major producer of regional jets, showing how protectionism can nurture new industry into global players. For the last point is made conclusion, protectionist measures like safeguarding infant industry play a nuisance role in the global economy, often criticized but proven to nurture domestic sector and drive long-term growth. The example from the South Korea automotive industry and Brazil's Embraer demonstrate how strategic protectionism support fledgling sectors, but success requires carefully implementation and periodic reassessment to prevent dependency and maintain competitiveness. So the last argument will presented by Satish. Thank you.
Hi, madam. So the fifth argument is I choose the fifth argument as national security. So which is this is the national security is a protectionism often justified by national security concern. Example like a US tariff on steels, India tariff on China's import. Protecting strategy industry seems as crucial for defense, infrastructure stability, and economy resilience. And the aim reduce to depends on foreign source and prevent economy curriculum. So this is statement. This essay examining the validity of the national security argument in a context of protectionism measured by presenting imperial example to adjust their efficiency and achieving in the intended to objectives. So topic sentences the aggression that trade restriction are essential to the safeguard national security interests. For the supporting details, United States imposition of the tariff steel on the aluminium imports in 2018 under Section 232 of Trade Inspection Act of 1962. Indian expose the tariff on certain Chinese imports, including solar cells and modules, and citing national security concern aimed by the board tension between the two of countries. So, imperial example. So first of all, European unions like steel safeguard measures lead to the trade tensions and economy burdens. The second empirical example is Australian foreign investment restrictions aimed to mitigate security risk but may deter investment. And protectionist policy of the have unintended consequences, draining diplomatic relation and harming economics. Example like the US and India tariff show a limited efficiency and achieving security and economic goals. In conclusion, the argument of national security in the realm of trade policy underscores the multifaceted consideration and complexities involved in balancing security with economic opponents. So, for the overall conclusion, protectiveness and policy formed under the national security have a complex trades-off, and policymaker must carefully weigh benefits and drawbacks to the maximize adverse impact on the economy, prosperity, and global cooperation. And that's all from us.